Sometimes the only way to get what you want is to just keep on pushing for it. And in the case of the twice lost showdown between Islam Makhachev and Rafael dos Anjos, though this third booking does not guarantee success, for me personally I'm just happy to see that the UFC are sticking with this matchup. Because as far as litmus tests for Makhachev are concerned, I think this is by far and away the most compelling one available. As I mentioned in my last video on Islam, I do believe that this guy is a legitimate talent, as most of you do, and through his victories, in particular against guys like Dober and Arman Tsaryukyan, I do think that this relatively slow rise over time will grow to be seen as tougher than we had originally thought. Such is the potential of those two fighters. But yeah, up until this point, Makhachev hadn't found his way into the octagon with a big name, a stepping stone that would legitimize him in the eyes of the masses. Not that he necessarily needs that to be great, but you know what I mean. Islam has been looking nothing short of masterful in the majority of his UFC appearances so far, but as many media members and teammates of his have suggested, his low ranking within the stacked lightweight title picture has acted as an understandable deterrent to those who had little to gain by taking on this highly technical but low-ranked fighter. Rankings obviously only mean as much as the importance that you place in them, but in reality, when you're the number 12 guy and you realistically deserve a fight within the top 7, that's where that little number beside your name becomes an issue. But now, Makhachev is the number 5 ranked fighter in the lightweight division, and though he has yet to fight anybody in the top 10, I'm just thankful that this next test for him, in this case RDA, is finally the step up in competition that he well and truly deserves. Because that is exactly what Rafael dos Anjos represents. Makhachev's route to victory, his pressure, his smothering top game, his excellent takedowns, these are all things that dos Anjos is, in theory, well equipped to deal with. Over the course of his career, RDA has fought everybody, tested himself against each and every style that has risen to the top of the lightweight pile. The Khabibs, the Fergusons, the Alvarezes, the Hendersons, the Pettises, and his run at welterweight proved that he could adapt his 155-pound style to a division that he was in many ways physically outmatched in. And though he certainly hasn't won every single fight that he's entered, dos Anjos remains a fitting test for anyone looking to assess their suitability to the lightweight top 5. I think he's been a great fighter over the years, especially during his time as champion, where his relentless, pressure-heavy style completely and utterly broke the former champion Anthony Pettis, before he was then eventually forced to evolve into something entirely new during his dip into the 170-pound division. And I think with an eye on Makhachev's likely route to victory, his takedowns, his top game, his ability to potentially hurt or submit RDA from those strong positions, I do think that dos Anjos has all of the tools necessary to make this a real challenge for Islam, to really put the diversity of his skill set to the test. RDA is an excellent grappler, a technical and durable striker, and a man with a wealth of experience under his belt. And yeah, sure, he's not in his absolute prime, but if Makhachev isn't stifled by RDA's sturdiness, that will definitely be an achievement that is truly worth something, truly a major step into title contention. I do hate to degrade RDA into the role of a gatekeeper, but if I am to put that label on him, he is without question one of the finest gatekeepers in the sport. On a side note, if you're enjoying this content, be sure to subscribe to the channel now to stay up to date with all of our latest uploads, before leaving a comment to let YouTube's algorithms know that we are fast becoming one of the best MMA channels on the platform. So how do I see this bout going? Well, Islam is definitely on the fast track to the top of the division. Personally, while I do think that the hype is deserved, this notion that he's bound to capture UFC gold in the near future is a tad bit premature. Not to say that I don't think that Islam will show us his levels, but it's more so that I think this is the test that will really give us the clear impression of where he's going. I want to see Makhachev in a situation where the takedown doesn't come to him at first, and I want to see what happens when he's forced into a situation where he's trading with a more experienced and more dangerous striker. Can RDA bring that challenge? I believe he can. I do think that there are levels to Islam's game that he has not been forced to show us yet. And in a matchup against this hardened veteran and former champion, I do think that we're going to see Islam rise to it in style. And this is why I think RDA is the perfect next step in the career of Makhachev. And yes, I do think he's going to win, and win in impressive fashion. The question that springs to mind, however, is whether Makhachev can actually find the finish over the course of the 5 rounds. Only Eddie Alvarez has been able to finish this famously durable fighter in the last 10 years. And given his long-time status as a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, though we have seen Islam thoroughly deal with excellent grapplers in the past, I do think that dos Anjos will be in there for the full 5 rounds. Now, how that will work with Makhachev's gas tank will be better understood on the night. But yeah, I do think that this will be a decision victory for Islam. Now, of course, every round starts standing up, and I do think that dos Anjos is more than capable of having some early success on the feet. But when Islam lands that first takedown, and I do think that he will, I believe that he will eventually start to take this fight over. Dos Anjos will likely come into this as a considerable underdog, and though it's not out of the question that he could find a late rally or an early run of form, Islam's technical mastery will allow him to shut down RDA as a threat once the early feeling out process is through. I'm here to be convinced of this guy's merits as the best lightweight on the planet, and though we're still very much in the earliest days of his time as an elite fixture within this division, I'm definitely ready to see what Islam Makhachev can do against the best of the best. But what do you think of this guy's chances of eventually clinching UFC gold? And how do you see Rafael dos Anjos as a potential foil for Makhachev at this crucial point in his own career? Do let us know your opinions in the comments section below. We always love to hear from you guys. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and a comment before subscribing to the channel so you can stay up to date with all of our latest uploads. Thank you for watching.